What up though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you for connecting with me while I do my 10,000 steps today. I'm out here at the river walk. It's a cooler day. I'm sure you noticed I'm wearing a hoodie versus the sleeveless tee that I was wearing yesterday. It's one of those days, man. But I'm not mad about it. It's the end of October, so it's to be expected. Thank you guys again for, just supporting what I'm doing. I'm making the grind for 5,000 by the end of the year. Got some ways to go, but you guys have really been showing me a ton of love and support, and I thank you for that. The topic of this video is a bit different from what I normally do. It's about a YouTuber in specific who's been around for a long time, and he just recently deleted his channel. It's kind of windy over here. Let me go up here and get out of the wind. Pardon the wind for a bit if it kind of makes it harder to hear me. I'm gonna get out of it as soon as I can. But as I was saying, YouTuber ReviewTechUSA. Now, I first became familiar with this guy back in like 2012. It was around the time that the Wii U was coming out. I bought one of those for my son, and he was seemingly very critical of the Wii U, but I did appreciate that he kind of would stand on whatever it is he believed. Back then, his channel was much different. He would he would do like gameplay. It'd be like Call of Duty or something, and then he'd do a voiceover with it talking about whatever the topic was. And I think after a while he started to get like copyright strikes, so he started going before the camera. I mean, he tried doing the other format again a few different times, but it didn't really go over well. Found a bench I'm gonna sit at right quick. And so he went to the format of being on camera, and he kind of stuck to that. Over the years, he has done some questionable things. It just would seem like he would go seeking out drama for the hell of it. Like, I'll give you an example. He would say something out of pocket to somebody. And this is just giving you a general example of something I seen that he did. I'm not going to give any names. But he tweeted at somebody saying something out of pocket. They responded in kind. And then he'd then go make a video about it. He'd say, I said such and such to such and such, and they didn't like it very much. And then he would make a whole video out of that tweet exchange. So not only was the dude leaning into drama, but it oftentimes would be drama that he himself would make. And that just really was very strange. So you skip forward to now, because he's engaged in this sort of stuff for years. I stopped following him about 5 years ago. No, more like 6 years ago. Because he would regularly post these doom and gloom videos about GameStop. And at the time, I was still working at GameStop, and I really didn't want to hear this crap. He would like go in on GameStop regularly. I guess, it's very popular to hate GameStop. I understand it. I have no delusions about that. It's very popular to hate GameStop. And so I guess those videos would do well, so he would, kind of lean into those regularly. I'm not mad at him for that. He was trying to get money. But me, as somebody who's working there at GameStop at the time, I don't need in my feed regular videos about how I'm going to lose my job in the very near future, which ironically, GameStop has outlasted him, but we'll just keep it on task to what I was talking about. But that is amusing when I think about it, that GameStop has outlasted him. But I unsubscribed from him about 6 years ago, maybe more like 6.5, and I never went back since. So I'm only learning about this stuff from other people. of what's happening today. He's been still leaning into the same sort of really silly manufactured drama that I seen him engaging in before. And I can only imagine years of doing that, just always being in some sort of really, unnecessary drama. It will wear on your mental health over a while. So now the man has nuked his channel. He has deactivated his channel himself. The channel had 1 million subscribers. I don't know why a person would do that. I would imagine that it's because some sort of cry for help. I don't know. In fact, someone even said that. I seen a tweet saying like, this just seems like a cry for help. He said to the effect of, not at all, this is the best decision I could have made. Or, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically in a nutshell saying that he's happy with this decision, he's confident in it, and throughout his life, whenever someone would tell him something was a bad choice, it would turn out not to be. I don't know. There would be times where he would just be a tad too stubborn for his own good and be too resistant to listening to reason. He'd be doing something that was counterproductive to his own interests, and people would try to advise him not to. And these would be people that were fans, not haters at all. These would be people that were genuine fans of his and wanted nothing but success for him and wanted him to keep going. And he would be so stubborn about listening to reason at times. And I kind of seen this a long time ago, that this would be someone who they would be resistant and stubborn to the bitter end. And even now he's being defiant, claiming that this is a decision that was good for him. Because what I don't understand is, why delete the channel? That just seems like such an unnecessary, dickish thing to do that only hurts you. If you're gonna abandon the channel, fine, but the channel being there, it still will generate a few bucks a month for you, a few $100 a month, maybe like $500-600 a month passively. But you don't have that option by deleting it. You get what I'm saying? It's like, this is someone who, in my opinion, has always seemed like they would just be a dumbass even to their detriment. And I don't take any satisfaction in this, because once upon a time I used to really enjoy watching his stuff. It's more shocking to me than anything that he actually deleted his channel, because I figure he'd be stubborn and bullheaded to the bitter end, because he's always been that way. But I never thought the guy would nuke his own channel. That's just really strange to me. He's had different run-ins, and in many cases he also will be someone that will be wrong a lot, and seemingly was not very good at admitting when he did things wrong or was wrong in a situation. I remember there was some situation where he was supposed to pay somebody $200, and he was adamantly refusing to do it, even though it was an agreed upon amount. And that turned into a drama situation. And this just goes to show you the stubbornness of this man at times. $200, man. Do you not realize you are taking irreparable damage to your reputation over a mere $200? And back then, according to him, he was making 5 to 8 G's a month. So, my God, give the dude the $200 and keep it moving. Why are you being so stubborn about something so small, just to ultimately end up giving the guy the $200 anyway to make the problem go away? But because he was such a stubborn jerk about it for so long, the $200 thing, it never went away. It has followed him from then. I want to say this was 2013, 2014, something like that. I could be a little wrong. It could be give or take a year. But you skip forward to now, 10 years later, on his live stream that he did the other day, somebody brought up the Big Cheese thing again, because Big Cheese was named the guy who owed him the $200. Shout outs to Big Cheese, man. I know he done did his own thing since then, But it's still crazy that he will forever be linked to Rich because of the whole $200 situation. Something so absurd as that. And as I said, this could have been a non-issue. Pay the guy the $200. It's $200. Pay him the money you said you were going to give him, and we keep it moving. The being so stubborn and resistant and doubling and tripling down on being wrong the way that he was. I mean, you had everybody, haters and lovers alike, saying, Rich, you wrong in this case. And he just was not budging. Those type of people, I oftentimes wonder how they manage to get along in this world. Because when you're that level of stubborn and not willing to bend ever, you're going to have a much harder time than not. There are times where you should dig in your heels and stand 10 toes down. And there's times that it's not worth it. Paying a person an agreed upon amount of such a paltry sum, that's not the hill to die on. You gotta just let stuff go, man. Even if you feel like, I shouldn't have originally agreed to this or whatever, that's beside the point. You did agree to it. Be a man of your word. Give him the $200 you told him he was gonna give him. Especially since, I cannot stress enough, he ended up just giving it to him anyway. You could have avoided this whole infamous thing if you just paid him initially like you were supposed to, instead of trying to renege, instead of trying to backflip on the initial agreement. So I don't know what all stuff he's been in, but I remember there was some situation with him and Keemstar, and Keemstar really dressed him down. Okay, he told him that he was always giving a bunch of stupid opinions and he gets everything wrong. And at that point, I had already stopped watching him for a while, but I remember laughing hearing this because I just was thinking to myself, this is so accurate. This is a guy that, I'm not going to say all of his opinions are stupid, but some of those takes were pretty silly. I don't know if they were things he really believed in or if they were just for shock value and clicks, but some of those things would be pretty silly. And when he said he gets everything wrong, man, not everything, but it did seem like he was so quick to run off at the mouth and be an expert on stuff without doing any research first. So I get where he's coming from, especially when you have somebody like Keem who's in the same space. Keem has gotten stuff wrong, and there's been huge consequences for himself or the people he wrongly accused of this and that when he was wrong. So I can understand the frustration that he would have when it's somebody else who's they're so wrong so regularly, they're so comfortable with being wrong so regularly, and they're so stubborn about retracting their statement or even offering an apology when they're wrong. I totally get it. So I don't know. I think the guy might be going through some sort of mental thing. You guys are gonna think I'm kidding when I say this, but I'm not. One of the reasons behind him nuking his 1 million subscriber channel is to pursue making hip hop beats. I'm not joking. This is a overweight, balding, mid-40s white guy that is talking about selling hip hop beats. Now, I'm not saying that a white guy can't sell hip hop beats. Sure he can. But bro, you in your mid-40s. That ship has sailed. You would have had to have started doing this 20 years ago, literally. Maybe even earlier than that. So this just doesn't sound like a person operating with a full deck. And guys, there's a lesson to be learned here. And that's stay away from needless drama. It is going to affect you. Engaging in a bunch of useless drama all the time, you may think it's not affecting you. It is. It's eroding you little by little by little. And the more you engage in it, the more it's going to erode you to where you get to a point where ReviewTechUSA is at, where you're doing really irrational things things that are highly to your detriment. This is a man that has kids. He's got multiple kids. Now, I don't know what other streams of income he may have, but the YouTube channel, even if you just abandoned it and didn't upload anymore, could have still been a passive revenue stream to help pay bills and feed your kids and buy Christmas gifts and all that. So you have someone that is being very irrational, making boneheaded decisions, and doesn't seem to really get it, or is defending, doubling and tripling down on these bad choices. These are the effects of exposing yourself to needless drama over long periods of time. So don't do it. As I said, this is a video different from what I normally had, but I believe that I needed to talk about it because this was a YouTuber that I once used to really like his stuff and never would have imagined back then, 2012, when I first started watching his stuff. Skip forward 12 years now, and the dude has himself nuked his channel. It's getting cold out here. It's got me sniffling and stuff, so pardon me. But I'll use that as a segue out. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Thank you again for the support. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.